Brian Windhorst. Let's get to the Celtics and the Bucks. They face off in the first game of our doubleheader tonight on ESPN after some early shakiness, right? Milwaukee, they're on a 5-game winning streak right now. They're tied with the Thunder for the longest active win streak in the NBA. This is a showdown between the number 1 and number 2 teams in the East. But Brian, they're next to each other in the standings, but how wide do you actually believe the gap is between these two teams right now?
Not as much as probably Bucks fans would like to hear, because I know that they've been winning, and I know that they feel like they've really gotten over that early hump with Chris Middleton coming back from injury. But the problem is, Malika, is that when the Bucks traded Drew Holiday, he ended up on their rival. You can't evaluate how well the Bucks are playing this year without evaluating how good the Celtics have become. And the Celtics have a top 5 offense, a top 5 defense, the best starting lineup in the league. And so when I look at the Bucks, I'm not just evaluating them on this year versus last year or how game's going. I'm evaluating whether they can beat the Celtics in 4 out of 7. And I'm not there right now. Right now, I feel like the Celtics are the best team, and it's by a little bit of space.
The question is how large of a gap exists between Bucks and the Celtics? Large. The only thing large in the studio is me and my appetite.
Oh, my goodness.
At the end of the day, when you talk about these two things, listen, I understand the Celtics right now, they're playing phenomenal basketball. We know what Drew Holiday bringing to the table. Porzingis has been given more than, as expected.
Yep.
But when I think about the Bucks, and I think about money-making Middleton, Chris Middleton coming off an injury, in his spot minutes, he's been looking phenomenal. As the season goes on, his minutes are going to increase. When I look at Damian Lillard, we know what he's going to bring to the table offensively. But it's that Giannis Antetokounmpo for me. When you talk about the most polarizing player in the league, listen, when we look at his numbers, right, first player to 30-plus points in the paint in consecutive games since Shaq in March 2022. He has 124 layups and dunks this season, 35 more than any other player.
Right.
Why bring that up? Because there's no gap when you're dealing with Giannis Antetokounmpo. There's no gap when you're dealing with a motivated Giannis.
There is actually a gap, and let me talk nerdy to you, because Perk, you went with some numbers, because Giannis and Dame, they can beat anyone with dominant offensive performances, but the gap is really their defense. And I want you guys to see these numbers because they are staggering. Last year, their defense ranked, 4th in the NBA, and they were great at, rim protection and really defending at the rim. Now, what are their defensive numbers? They're right here. Look at them, 23rd defensive efficiency, 18th field goal percentage, 16th field goal percentage at the rim. So while they are dominant offensively, and yes, we can say that Giannis is the most dominant player in basketball, the reality is the gap is their defense. That's why they've been struggling. I think, this trade came at a cost. They won the championship because of their defense, and now they have to find that blueprint to be successful.
NBA,